Today I will discuss about acid-base regulation balance in human blood. This video is for the 4th semester Zoology honors students in the Department of Zoology of Ulluvia College. I have already provided you necessary write-up through online. For more information, you can also consult the book of Guyton Textbook of Medical Physiology and Sherwood Human Physiology. We all know that within the human body, blood is one of the important connective tissue, and fluids such as blood must be maintained within a narrow range of pH, that is 7.35 to 7.45, which is slightly alkaline. If the pH range goes outside this, then pH becomes unable to coexist with the life, proteins are denatured and digested, enzymes lose their ability to function, and the body is unable to sustain itself. So, to maintain this narrow range of pH, the blood has a powerful buffering system. However, this acid-base imbalance system overcomes this system and compensated within a very short span of time, that is within 24 hours. In our discussions, we will consider two terminology. One is acidosis and is alkalosis. Acidosis refers to an excess of acid in the blood. In our discussion, we must know two basic terminology. One is your acidosis and other is your alkalosis. Now, acidosis refers to the excess of acid in the blood that causes the pH to fall below the 7.35, and alkalosis refers to the excess of base in the blood that causes the pH to rise above the 7.45. In our body, many conditions and diseases can interfere in the blood and causes a person's blood pH to fall outside these healthy limits. However, in response to acidosis, the tubular cells reabsorb more bicarbonate and the collecting ducts secrete more hydrogen and generate more bicarbonate. We must consider another things, that is ammonia genesis, that is formation of ammonia within the blood and from there to urine, that leads to an increase in the formation of ammonia buffer. During alkalosis, the kidney may excrete more bicarbonate, where the decreasing of hydrogen ion secretion occurs in the tubular epithelial cells, and as a result, the lowering rate of the glutamine metabolism also observed through ammonium excretion. This is an overall view of the renal response during acidosis and alkalosis. Some important events which I will discuss now: there is hydrogen ion secretion, hydrogen ion excretion, bicarbonate reabsorption, bicarbonate excretion. These are positive or negative. These are mechanisms happening within the renal tubules. We will discuss now. Both lungs and kidney have two very important roles in maintaining the acid balance in our body. And these two important roles is the absorption of bicarbonate from the urine, and the next one is the excretion of hydrogen ions into the urines. Among these two, these both are happening in the kidney, and among the lungs and kidney, the kidney have a slower rate. But the major homeostatic control point for maintaining a stable pH balance is found in the renal excretion only. Here, bicarbonate does not have a transporter, so its absorption involves a series of reactions in the tubular lumen and tubular epithelium. This is the picture of nephron, where I am showing you the area of reabsorption, that is your proximal convoluted tubules and distal convoluted tubules, and also some part of the collecting ducts. 80% to 90% of bicarbonate is reabsorbed in the proximal convoluted tubules, and hydrogen ion secretion also occurs in the proximal tubules. Now, in response to acidosis, the tubular cells reabsorb more bicarbonate from the tubular fluid, and the collecting duct cells secrete more hydrogen and generate more bicarbonate. And distal convoluted tubules, and also some part of the collecting ducts. 80% to 90% of bicarbonate is reabsorbed in the proximal convoluted tubules, and hydrogen secretion also occurs in the proximal tubules. The renal mechanism of acid-base balance is achieved by four systems. Number one is excretion of hydrogen ion. Number two, reabsorption of bicarbonate. Number three, excretion of phosphoric acid. And number four, excretion of ammonium ions. Regarding the first one, that is excretion of hydrogen ion secretion occurs in the proximal tubule, where three ascending loops of Henle and early distal tubules it is found, and the mode of transport is mainly sodium hydrogen counter transport. And regarding the source of energy, we know that in the plasma membrane, sodium potassium ATPase enzyme is found, and these pump systems export sodium ions inside and potassium ions outside the membrane. So this is the major source of energy. This is our first reaction, that is your excretion of hydrogen ion concentration. Here we found that within the tubular cells, this reactional part is constant. That is, water combined with carbon dioxide and forming H2CO3, that is carbonic acid, which again dissociated into bicarbonate and hydrogen plus ion. One thing we must know, that during the formation of water, this is the first reaction, that is excretion of hydrogen plus ion. This is happening in the tubular cells, and the associated other region is your tubular lumen and renal interstitial fluid. We must know one thing, that this reaction part is constant in the tubular cells. That the carbon dioxide ion is combined with water by the help of carbonic anhydrase, forming H2CO3, that is carbonic acid. This carbonic acid again dissociated into bicarbonate and hydrogen plus ion. Now regarding these slides, this hydrogen plus ion is coming out from the tubular cells and combined with the bicarbonate and forming carbonic acid. This carbonic acid again dissociated into carbon dioxide and water. In this reaction, we are just getting one thing, that carbonic acid is dissociated into bicarbonate and hydrogen plus ion to create a pool of hydrogen plus ion, which to be secreted into the urine. That is, this part is always continuing in the renal tubular cells and tubular lumen. As a result, excretion of hydrogen plus ion secreted. This is the second mechanism, that is reabsorption of bicarbonate, where within the cell, the bicarbonate and hydrogen plus ion dissociated from the carbonic acid, and this hydrogen plus ion entering into the plasma and forming again H2CO3 by the help of carbonic anhydrase. It is again dissociated into carbon dioxide and water. And this carbon dioxide, when entering into the cell, it is again forming the H2CO3 and from where bicarbonate. In these reactions, we are getting a one molecule of HCO3 directly into the lumen of the epithelium cell, from the epithelium cell. This is the third buffering system, that is excretion of phosphoric acid. One thing we must know, that when bicarbonate is insufficient, only this reaction takes place. Here, this hydrogen plus ion is secreted out from the tubular cells to tubular lumen and combines with the hydrogen phosphate and other tubular buffer to generate H2PO4. Now it can excrete it as a sodium dihydrogen phosphate through urines. However, in this reaction, this part is constant, and this bicarbonate coming out into the capillary system, and as a result, there is a neat one molecule of bicarbonate is gaining by the kidney. It is fourth buffering system, which is the last one. Here, glutamine, which is an important amino acid, is actively transported into the renal epithelium cell in the proximal tubules, Now this glutamine is divided into the bicarbonate and ammonium. This ammonium is secreted into the lumen by ammonium sodium countertransport, and these bicarbonate are absorbed into the blood. As we all know, our body produces more acids than bases, while kidney, trying to keep the normal range of pH of the blood, involved through 4 basic mechanisms of the Buffer systems, and as a result of that, our pH value of the blood range from 7.35 to 7.45. Although the respiratory system regulates the carbon dioxide pressure, but kidney modulate the concentration of bicarbonate. However, the acid-base regulation balance is the second line of defense system against pH shift, and which is one of the important one. Thank you.